This is video number 2, which is for the second page of your handout. So it's about drawing line graphs. So we'll just have a quick read through here. So it says we use line graphs to graph continuous data. Continuous data are part of a continuum on which each value follows on from the previous value, for example, height or weight. And it looks like this example is going to be using heights or distances, which follow on from each other. And every good line graph has to include SPLAT. So SPLAT stands for the scale, making sure there are even spaces between numbers. Points neatly plotted with an X or a little dot. Labels, identifying what is what and including units in brackets. Axes, ruling the lines neatly. And finally, title, writing a neat and relevant title, which usually compares the X to the Y. So we're going to show all these things on the graph. So you can follow along as we do it, or you can just stop and start the video as you need to. So first of all, we have to decide what goes on each different side. So we've got a space for our title and 2 spaces for our labels. So we need to put the independent variable, the thing that we are controlling or that we are changing, along the bottom. So the independent variable in this example is the distance. So distance is going to go along the bottom. So we will write that along here. And the unit for distance is in centimetres. So that is written on the table. So you can see that down the bottom there. The dependent variable, the thing that is being measured, is time. So that's going to go out the side. So we'll put time, and it says here that the unit for that is seconds. So that goes in brackets. Alright, all graphs always start with 0 in the bottom corner, and then we go on from there. So I'm going to put the independent variable, which is the top row, along first, and I'm going to space it out nice and evenly. So we've got 0 in the corner because we have to. Then I'm going to leave 2 spaces because that makes my graph a bit easier to read. If you do it every square, it makes it a bit tricky. So I leave 2 gaps and I'm going to put 20. Leave another 2 gaps and I'm going to put 40. Another 2 gaps and I'm going to write 60. Another 2 will be 80. Another 2 will be 100. Another 2, and that will be my final point, which is 120. And as you can see, I've written my title in the wrong place. We've got 80, 100, 120, and I'll just put my label back down there. Righto. Now, up the side, we have to do something a little bit different for this one. So this is where the SPLAT comes in, or the first part, the S, where we need to have the scale even. So even though these numbers are not even, we can't just put them on that axis as any type. We have to put them in so that those go up evenly in numbers. So to do that, we need to work out a way that we can go up evenly. So if we start at 0 and we look at the highest number, 105, that's the number that we have to go up to. So probably the easiest thing to go up in would be either 5s or 10s, but if we count out in 5s along here, we don't have enough squares, so we're probably going to have to go up in 10s. So we're going to put 0 in the bottom. The first square up will be 10, and we draw it nicely on the line so that it matches up. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and then because our top number goes above 100, we're going to have to do an extra one up to 110. Okay, now we're doing a line graph, so what we'll do next is we'll go along and match up the points. So 0, distance also equals 0 time, so we can put a little cross in that corner there. Then we go along to the 20, so at the distance of 20 centimetres, when the ramp was 20 centimetres high, then the time it took to get down was 18 seconds. So we go along up the 20 line along the distance side to about where 18 would be. So it takes a little bit of guessing, and put a nice neat little cross there. The next one, 40 is the distance, so going up to 38 would probably be about there. Next one, 60 was 60 is the distance and a time, so that's nice and easy. We can put that right in the corner. 80 and 75 will be bang in the middle of those two lines between the 70 and the 80. 194, just below centre because it's not quite 95. And then finally for 120, it was 105 seconds. So 105 seconds is bang in the middle of 100 and 110. Okay, you can see there just by looking at it, we've got a nice straight line. So then we use a ruler to draw a nice line of best fit through those points. So a line of best fit doesn't have to go through all the points, and it doesn't join up the points individually. We don't draw from one point to the other. We put a line of best fit. So it needs to incorporate as many points as possible with an even number on both sides of the line. So if we start at 0, because that's where our time started on the table, and then just draw a straight line to the highest point. And there we go. So that is what your graph should look like when you're finished.